Okay, I'd like to call the September 2nd, 2014 Mayor's Selectmen's meeting to order. Can you please join me, remove your hats, caps, and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, God. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Hey, Alma, while you're at it, can you turn the flag so the eagle's facing you?
Look to know what you were talking about.
I want to move that picture over there.
Okay, item 3, public comment. 3-minute maximum per person. Wait, Mr. Bull, how did I know you were going to talk today?
I can go first or last.
Well, you go right ahead. You beat Mr. Denome and you didn't say the pledge with us. Go ahead.
Well, you brought up something at the last meeting.
Good or bad?
Well, that depends on how you look
All
at it.
right.
And there was somewhat discussion, but I don't think there was a complete resolution. So let's start again and
Go ahead.
see if maybe you can get a resolution. You talked about some type of sidewalk that had to be wheelchair. And you put it out to bid, I believe. And somebody opened the bids that shouldn't have. And the bids were for a whole bunch of money that probably was too high. So, my question to you is, since you didn't even have approval to put it out for bid, and somebody wrongly opened the bids, and the bids are too high, are you going to rebid it, or are you going to do it in-house? Because there's something wrong with the whole thing.
It's a project that's about 5 years in arrears, and the state was passing out money. So that's number one. For, I think, it's like 80 cuts?
We had about $90,000 to go, but there's about
80 cuts and so. Isn't this state money?
no, it's federal.
State money, federal money.
No, there wasn't.
So I think it was finally cleared up after years of arguing back and forth that we could do it cheaper and do a lot more than what they gave us. But you have to follow their regulations of the $90,000 for so many of those cuts, and now you have to put special things in there so people won't slip and fall.
Well, I didn't know that you were talking about more than one. That's all I heard when I was here. They were going to do one cut, $58,000. I said, yeah, something wrong here.
Wherever you get your information.
Well, I got it from them.
Every time you get
That's
something.
I must have sent you a
way
note
off.
saying, bring this up.
You brought it up here.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
how we
that's
were
fine.
to understand it. Now, obviously, you said no more of these bids open someplace else.
What do I say?
They haven't even been opened, I don't believe.
It's an ordinance that all bids have to be open at a selectmen's meeting. So from henceforth on, all bids, we got the bridge bid coming in, we got other bids coming in, they have to be opened up here in front of the selectmen and public.
So, what is the resolution with this particular one? Did you
We're-
rebid it, or did you
No,
just...
no, we should take the federal money and start doing it.
One state of Connecticut approves it.
Yeah, the feds gave us the money, but the state of Connecticut's got to approve it. You know, figure that one out.
Everybody's-
It'll be done.
Everybody's got their hands in the pot,
It'll be done.
the pot.
Would anybody else like to comment? Any questions?
Mr. Denome, 85 Vandale Street, Putnam. Yes, Mr. Mayor, reading from the record of July 14, Board of Selectmen, Denome, myself, question about item 8 regarding the capital appropriation of $1,262,000. And that I had not recollected any discussion about this during any of the meetings. It says here, several board members assured Mr. Denome that the discussion had happened at the Board of Selectmen and Finance. I have researched all the minutes, and I have found no reference to this recommendation. Therefore, I am formally asking you, Mr. Mayor, to have the town manager here, Mr. Cutler, provide with me the authorization, the members present, the discussion, the motion, and the vote of the same. Okay? So I'm wondering, Mr. Cutler, when...
How much money? 1.7 million?
$1,262,000.
It's a 5-year capital plan.
The 5-year Asheville ash landfill.
So what do you want? You
I want to know,
minutes?
I want to know who was there, who talked about it, who motioned that it would pass, and then who made the recommendation. Where does this recommendation come from?
Doug?
Dave, I remember having that conversation right here in this room with the rest of the members of the Board of Selectmen.
Well, okay, show me in the
Want me to let
minutes.
him talk?
Yeah, go ahead.
So it shouldn't be that difficult for us to find the minutes from that meeting because they did happen. I remember the discussion, I'm sure everybody
Well,
else here
that's
does.
all I'm asking for. I'm asking for the minutes of that discussion, okay?
Did you request those from Denise prior to this meeting?
No, I have not. I've not requested, well, I'm doing it now because I
Okay,
keep
well,
bringing
yeah,
it up.
so noted.
Mr. Barstow and I had a discussion about this in the Board of Finance. Nothing has been brought forth. Therefore, I am asking now for that information.
Okay.
When may I be able to get it, Mr. Butler?
Whenever the chairman or mayor tells me.
I'll be in tomorrow, and I'll ask Denise if you can, so just,
Yeah.
oh, Denise is on vacation. We'll get the minutes.
Well, you get the minutes. Okay. Second item in regards Savage Putnam Steaks. They are way behind in their postings. The only posting that I have for the Board of Selectmen is March 3rd or 14th is the latest. And for the Board of Finance, February 24th. There are no other postings after those dates. I'd like you to know. Also, joint meetings and town meetings, I mean, pitiful, just a couple of them. Well, if you have this service that Savage is supposed to, like here, Mr. Savage, hello, that's supposed to go up on the website, all right? It is not going up on Putnam Steaks. It's not posted. It's not there.
Renee, go
I
ahead.
believe Savage Systems is doing this, last I knew, for free as a service to the town. I'm glad that they're doing it, but it's hard to hold someone's feet to the fire when they're doing it for you as a favor, even supplying the server space for the videos to live on, and videos take up a lot of server space.
Well, then, if they can't do it, then why don't they just not do it?
You're doing a service to save taxpayers' money.
Well, the thing is, a lot of things go on in this room. I have read the minutes. They do not always coincide with I hear. No. That's what I'm saying. The tape does not lie. All right? That is what I'm talking about.
Okay, 3 minutes are
Also,
up.
the other question.
Excuse me,
Yes,
your 3 minutes are up.
thank you.
You have a shot at the end of the meeting to continue.
I said plenty.
Item 4, approval of minutes, August 11th, 2014. Motion made and seconded, discussion, additions, corrections, deletions?
They have a correction on 13, I guess it would be F, the water at Star Park. I made the motion and Mayor Frazarano, Doug Cutler, Willie Busquet, Scott wasn't at that meeting. You missed one, Scott. Denise, you had Scott down as being at the meeting.
Oh,
Scott
On the
wasn't.
11th?
No, the meeting we had with
Right.
Jimmy Shore.
Oh, I wasn't there.
oh wait, what?
I was there, Tony was there, Doug was there, Jimmy Shore was there,
Oh,
and Willie Busquet, that's it. Just gotta take Scott out.
oh, okay.
Delete Scott, can I text anything now?
And add you.
Strike me from the record, strike me from the
Thank
record.
you, right out.
Okay.
With that correction, all those in favor of approving the minutes? Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Petitions, item 5, petitions of communication. We have a letter dated August 7, 2014 from the State of Connecticut Department of Housing regarding the incubator building change of use, sale of property on 39 Ridge Road, Putnam, Connecticut. Douglas, what are we doing with that? Delpha,
Yes.
I knew you were here for a
That was
reason.
a meeting.
That is the incubator building that ERW houses right now. ERW, a manufacturing company, has 2 buildings. One he owns, and one he's been leasing in the industrial park for approximately 9 years. So he made a request to purchase that building. In the past, the There were 3 incubators built originally. One has been sold maybe 8, 9 years ago. So we put in a request of the state to sell the incubator building. We had a certain list of criteria that we had to do, 2 independent appraisals. We had a public hearing for a change of use that is going from an incubator concept to a private use. And they wanted us to come up with a plan. The plan was that we wanted to use the funds from that to put in infrastructure into the flag lot 9. And then we could sell lot 9 because it's been very difficult to sell without any infrastructure, because whoever purchases it, they would have to do that. That plan was denied by the state. So it's been, maybe 16 months now that we've been trying to get this to ERW. He needs to increase the footprint of the building. He's putting in new machinery to upgrade some of his lines of manufacturing, and he needs to hire more people. So as the previous incubator that was sold, the money was returned to the state. So we will be returning the $450,000 to the state because that's mandated by the feds. So what happened last time was they turned around and gave us a grant for housing rehab back then. So we will be applying for trying to get that money back through our consulting firm.
Well done, thank you.
What's our chances
Of,
getting it back?
well, when we returned the money for the the commercial facade, we got it back again through a housing rehab. We returned $50,000, we got $300,000 back. So,
Do that again.
good deal.
That's it.
Thanks, Alpha.
You're welcome.
Reports of Standing Committee. 6A, General Government Committee. Codification.
There's some of the things that are included in the codification were reviewed by the committee and the chief of police, and we are referring certain things that were old city ordinances, and if they had some applicability, they might be in conflict with our zoning, so we're having a review by our town planner to see whether they need to be on the books as ordinances, or should they be taken off because they are covered by zoning.
Thanks. Reports of special committees. Wheelabrator Contract Review Committee. Scotty, you're the chairman.
Mr. Mayor, yes, I'm pleased to report that our hopefully final meeting will be held tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Negotiations, as I said earlier, were that close, and now we're even closer. So hopefully we'll come up with an agreement, which will be brought to the Board of Selectmen and also finally brought to the voters for ratification.
Excellent. Charter Revision Study Committee, Doug.
Tomorrow I'll be sending out a notice to everybody to see what dates are available for the committee.
Putnam Facilities Study Committee, Denise sent out notices to the Selectmen and the new Facilities Committee. What I did is I filled the committee, disband all other building committees, and just have this one committee. Some people are hurt, some people are offended, that's too bad. We can't have 14 different offshoots. So this building committee, with the interest of all the other committees, I made sure that their views will be well represented, especially the library, getting a lot of heat from them. But there will be 2 people who are on the original building committee will be on this committee, and we're going to try and put in a proper order what we own, what our needs are, what buildings we have, what property we have, and a chronological order of how we're going to attack these, and what goes first, second, third, and fourth. If you remember, about 4 years ago, the Board of Finance, the Board of Selectmen, and the Board of Education met at the middle school, and it was like 47 people there, and really nothing got done, and people were aggravated, and they had these little groups in the foreman. The only one, Scott's shaking his head, because he was on the school board committee, and they got the new school for $36 million.
That's right.
Anyhow, so that meeting is going to be tomorrow, the 16th. It's open to the public. We welcome anybody who'd like to come. It'll be right here, I believe, and you can see sparks flying, I guess. But it'll be the first time that we do have one committee to take care of all the needs of our town. Thanks on that.
You going to reference that as a building committee or facilities?
Facilities. Okay, staff reports, economic, there are no reports this month. But Delphi, do you have anything new and exciting besides that?
Yes, thank you.
When you wore that purple shirt, I know, that's Regal, so go right ahead.
The only thing I would like to add, that we found out last week, the notification that, as many of you know, we applied for a status for Cargill Falls Mill to be put on the National Register, and you have to go through 2 different application forms for that, and that was approved. That property is now on the National Register, so it will be overseen by the National Park Service, just like the Grand Canyon.
But they give him the 2.85 million that he's short?
Well, what this does allow is the tax credits, the historic tax credits, which if you look at the pro forma, is a big chunk of that, so.
So it looks like that's going to go through, hopefully?
Well, we're still waiting for that answer,
Okay.
and, it all hinges on that, so if not, we'll just look other places.
Okay.
We did have the walkthrough, mandatory walkthrough, because the project did go out to bid for demolition and for the hazmat plan, and we had 15 consulting firms show up, which was huge.
Very good. And I know, was it OPM or CCM that came down?
OPM.
OPM came down.
Secretary Barnes.
And Lieutenant Governor came down to speak at Winnie, and Mr. Sheldon ran across the street and talked to her. So it's well known in Hartford about this. And he, like I said before, he's $2.85 million short of doing this whole project. Hopefully he can somewhere, maybe Owen could try to go.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
May I ask Delphi a question? 3 if you like. 3? Okay, I just have one. I heard you on the radio talking about the exciting developments at the Woodville Point building. Do you have any news? You were going to talk to the new owner and find out what's going on?
I am going to talk to the new owner.
But haven't yet?
No,
Okay.
because it's, I have an attorney giving him my contact information so that he can call me and.
Just
yes.
curious.
Yep,
Good. Thank you.
yep,
But he's done work.
Yeah, no, I see.
different owner.
Yeah.
The work that has been done was the previous owner, and he pulled a permit for siding. So that's the work that's been done. But it's kind of lipstick on a pig, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were raring to go.
Maybe we'll look at
Yeah,
something.
and it looks better than it did before, but, that building needs a lot more structural concerns and things like that, to kind of finish off. Once 88 Main looks like a great building too, it just makes the others look worse. So there's some projects in the wings that people are talking about what to do with those buildings, so we'll just wait and hear.
Sooner the better.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
I agree.
Very nice question. Does anybody have any questions for Town Administrator Peller in his report?
One. Item number 2. The last part of it, transfer of land to YMCA is still pending review of the wise attorneys. Where do we stand on that?
Still pending. I think they're waiting for the other shoot of drop, which is the bridge going up again, and the bids are due then. So once they know that's in the cards, I think things will start moving on that front.
Okay. Quit claim deed to YMCA of Greater Hartford.
Covered it.
What's that? Research electricity bills.
All my contacts.
Yeah, Doug's contract.
I forgot about it.
I forgot your contract. I'm trying to save the taxpayers some money here. Elma, how do we stand on this fellow's contract? I know you had some problems contacting or getting any answers from our town attorney.
Yep. We finally touched base today. He's going to get me the final draft tomorrow on the verbiage that we wanted changed. And after that, we should be ready to go. I'll have the personnel committee, we're going to get together via email or conference call, discuss it, so we should be all set after that.
So basically on the 15th, we can vote on that, the selectmen vote on his contract? Okay,
Personnel committee will meet with him first,
okay.
and then barring no issues. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Where do we stand on the electric bills? know, Scott, that was a,
Yeah, I just, again, we signed them tonight, and I found 15-cent ones, just about what Alan was paying. But,
Just for your information, on the basis of the concerns raised by the committee, we have CCM doing the research to get all our other bills considered under that program that they run. Excellent.
So when do you expect to get that?
I'm going to get back in touch with them. I've been waiting for about 2 weeks now, so I'm going to contact them tomorrow. And we also have a few other aggregator companies that we can contact to farm out of the bills that are not covered by the overall Trans-Canada program.
10D, sidewalk handicap ramps. I think we discussed that during citizens' comments. It's federal money, but we need approval from the state to get going. Is that correct?
That's right.
Do you have any feeling for that?
Denise, do you check with them, or do we decide not to check with them? The guy from the state.
Oh, my friend Tom.
Huh?
My friend Tom. Oh,
Yeah, your friend Tom.
If we could check on that as soon as possible, get that organized. Okay. Grant consideration and updates.
I have nothing new.
Nothing new?
On the plate yet.
Perfect. Edgar, 40 minutes earlier than I anticipated. 12A, consider granting a temporary pistol permit for Edgar Durant.
So moved.
Second?
Motion made, second.
I had a question.
Question.
I know you filled out everything, Edgar, all the way through, but one place you didn't check off, it says, have you ever been arrested anywhere else besides the state of Connecticut? I'm sure you haven't, but that wasn't filled out.
No, I haven't. I must have missed it.
The other gentleman did too, both of you did the same thing.
Okay, with that, all those in favor of issuing the permit, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Ayes have it so. Oh, vote. Edgar, you have a pistol permit, and Denise is handing it to you right now.
Thank you.
I'd buy you some ammo, but I can't tonight.
You gotta get a pistol from me.
Consider granting a temporary pistol permit to Justin Wade.
So moved.
White, excuse me. White.
The same thing here too, Justin. It's,
Oh, yeah, I must have dismissed it. Yeah, it's not correct.
With that adjustment, that I was putting on there that you have been arrested in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Nope.
second.
Second, Alma. All those in favor of issuing Justin a permit?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Justin, you're now the proud owner of a pistol permit.
Super.
Same deal for you. I'd buy you some ammo, but you just can't do it. C, consider Coach Greenholm Memorial Scholarship Fund, transfer of ownership and a resolution. Do you want to explain that, our treasurer, what that means? Because some people kind of feel it's not that they're giving up on it. The scholarship will be there.
No, the town has several scholarships already. Prior to my coming on board, Ron Kader and some of his affiliates with different organizations raised money for the Coach Greenhill Scholarship Fund. So the accounts were set up on the books, but no monies ever came over to the town. And actually they came over last July 1. So at this point, I had met with Ron Kader, and there's a couple of different investment firms involved. And a bunch of paperwork was signed, and now one of the investment companies need some additional paperwork. So it's really just adding to all the other scholarships that we have.
So it's no big deal, no harm, no foul,
Well,
and
you know,
the scholarship will still be there.
Yeah, the scholarship's there. I mean, yes, it's more work, but the reason why they want us to handle it is because we're a good steward of that kind of money. We'll make sure that it's issued as it's supposed to be according to their guidelines.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. D,
We have to vote on it?
Yeah.
we have to vote on that. All those in favor of?
Motion.
Second.
No, I'm sorry.
Is there a resolution that has to be a specific wording?
Yeah, you got it.
You got it in there.
Oh,
It's in your pack.
that's right, it is in my packet.
I'm sorry.
Scott, it's in your packet.
I missed it.
Scott, you seconded. Who you first? Make the motion again?
Sure, so moved.
Doug, Question, discussion.
If we're going to control the money, who controls who gets it?
Putnam High School.
Putnam High School?
Doesn't the town control all those scholarships?
You know,
Basically, technically,
It's interesting because, for example, I belong to the Rotary Club.
Rotary.
And I had made a donation. I won $10 one week, and people usually donate it. And I donated mine to the Stanley Scraver or Thomas Scraver Scholarship.
Yeah.
Which I know that I'm the class of '76, and I have the scholarship here. Now, the funds went somewhere else, and I got a letter thanking me, so that tells me there's more than one Scraver scholarship around.
No, your funds went to the correct place. Is that-
I didn't get the $10 here.
No, I'm just, oh, you mean here?
Mm-hmm.
There's more than one Scraven
It's gotta be,
scholarship?
gotta be. Because I got a letter from, I want to say it's a Jones Scraver, you know, thank you for your recent donation.
Tom Scraven,
And actually,
Stan
when we
Scraven.
had a class reunion, I had donated money, and it didn't come here either. So,
Is here Stanley's or is here Tom's?
Tom is the one that's been here.
Because Stanley, there's two different scholarships. One is Stanley and one is Tom's.
Tom's the son, Stanley's the father.
well, it was supposed to go to the son, I guess it went to the father. But
Uh-huh.
anyway, I mean, you know, and I know other organizations have scholarships in town. We have probably, off the top of my head, 12 to 15 scholarships that I currently manage. And every year, the high school asks, you know, what do we have? Give us a list. Tell us what the balances are. I guess the school or the Board of Ed, somebody has a committee. Like there's an Italian scholarship, you have to be of Italian descent. There's an Irish American. There's, you know, so forth and so on. So I just give them the list. They send back to me who the recipients are. It has to, you know, fall under their guidelines, their committee. I'm just here to make sure that, you know, the interest is recorded, the payments are made, and stuff like that.
Very good. So now we have to vote on the resolution.
Yeah, I found it.
Okay, you found it?
Yeah, I found it.
You want to read it?
No.
Okay. And we had
You got
discussion.
caught on that one.
All those in favor
He
of
was the second.
the resolution on the Green Hall Scholarship, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The abstention. Then, can restate the town bidding ordinance.
Douglas, you wanted to give us some clarification for those members? who
There
aren't-
had been concerns raised because of the way we had bid out certain projects, which was based on our bidding of equipment rentals and also material. And to clarify that, a group of two selectmen and the mayor and myself met with town attorney St. Onge and came up with some language to try to address that concern. And the language that you have in your hands is that language. They also thought that it would be a good idea perhaps if the two changes that they recommended in the original town bidding ordinance was to raise the dollar amount of the bids that had to go out through legal notice from $5,000 to $10,000. And the other one is to take care of that other situation, which is 101-15, lump sum bids, which any project costing in excess of $10,000 shall be bid as a lump sum unless the department had certifies in writing to the Board of Selectmen that in excess of 50% of the labor cost of the project is provided by town forces. So you won't have that situation where, you know, we would use that equipment, rental, and materials bid as we did that year for the school project. We'll have to put it out through the legal process, which is to put it in paper, have it sit there for 7 days, and then open it publicly.
I did discuss with you item C as an afterthought, meaning that I think we should be able to do something in that venue whereby, as far as the state is concerned, maybe we can go out to bid where it's prudent to do so in order to save money on specific items in order to lower our cost. So I think should do our due diligence on that and get the right language there. And I think there is money, I think, that can be saved, and I think Jerry would allude to that.
Wasn't the town attorney looking into that?
Yes. We just
Yeah.
haven't come up
He's
with
still
suitable
looking
language.
into that.
Okay.
But I agree with you, Peter. What I don't want to happen is to take the path of least resistance and say, oh, it's on the state bid list, I'll just buy it off of that. Because we have proof that a lot of times you can get it cheaper local, or, bidding on your own.
So we're going to work on this a little bit more, right? before-
Yes.
Right, yes. And there's no vote on that tonight.
But I think what we wanted to find out from the board tonight, from the overall board tonight, is that are they on the right track in terms of, first of all, raising the bid amount from 5,000 to 10,000, and then, again, to correct that situation where we have used the other bid process to now require that anything over $10,000 where you're not using more than 50% of your labor force should go out to bid. And then the other one would be the 101-13C, to clarify that language. So just because you have the opportunity to use state bid or the regional government, if it doesn't make financial sense, fiscal sense, then.
Anybody have a problem with that?
Okay. We'll come in next meeting.
Right. And then we can probably schedule a town meeting.
And with that note, Denise alerted all the department heads in a memo regarding bid openings. Last night, Board of Selectmen meeting, the issue came up regarding,
Yeah.
no, I know, I'm singing your praise.
For
For purchasing policy, Article 2, Section 101-12, it states that all bids need to be opened at a Board of Selectmen meeting. If you have a bid opening that you need to schedule, call Denise, and she'll ensure that it's on the agenda at the appropriate Board of Selectmen meeting. Thanks, Denise.
Yes.
Delta.
So now everybody's going to know that.
Everybody got the memo?
Everybody got the
We
memo?
need some clarification.
Delpha?
The only question I have is with the redevelopment agency, when we have housing, commercial housing bids where we go through the consultant, each bid for each housing rehab has to come, we have to have the contractor present, the homeowner present, the consulting firm present, and that kind of thing. Does the redevelopment agency bids for housing rehab, commercial facade programs, all of the CDBG program that we have a consultant for, does that have to
How
come?
often does that happen?
Oh, all the time.
Let me check with our town attorney.
I did ask him, I
What'd he
had a
say?
meeting with him, he had to look into it because the redevelopment agency is a semi-autonomous agency.
Right.
The state statute is like 110 pages of statutes, so he was gonna look into that, because I needed that clarification.
Okay.
Also, for instance, for the 300,000 that we got, we have anywhere from 6 to 12 homes that we have to do, and we have to do it in that year time, so, I
If
just
he
need
has no
clarity.
problem with that, then it's fine.
Yeah, whatever he says, right? Okay.
Yeah, the clarification would be the WPCA.
The WPCA like to redevelop, and they're autonomous, no one can touch them. It's like it's a sacred cow to you guys.
Do we want to, for the sake of clarity, include in the ordinance that it does not include, assuming it doesn't include yours, and it doesn't include the WPCA's, just so down the road, there's no, oh, she's not following proper bidding procedure?
Well, what's going to resolve from Doug, from Bill,
Yeah.
we can add it to that.
Yeah, I mean, I like clarity.
I know. Item E, consider the waiver of the building fees for Putnam High School. That's always interesting. I'm going to let our town administrator explain to the board, as he explained to me, why we should waiver this. Douglas?
The reason that you would waive it is because it's a public project, it's a municipal project, and you would just be taking money from one hand and put it to the other, and
Makes no sense.
it does sense.
Yeah.
Plus, it's a big, significant chunk of change.
It would be
that wasn't
zillions,
accounted
right.
for, right? At .0111123, it's a significant chunk of change.
Does anybody have a problem with that waiver? Then we need a motion to waiver. Motion made by Doug, second by Alan to waive the building permit for the school. Any more discussion? All those in favor of waiving that, signify by saying aye. Anybody opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstain.
You should.
Yes.
Okay. Item F, create a senior accounting position in the finance department. Possible discussion? Sandy, would you state your case why this person is valuable and you need this person
Besides,
in a Reader's Digest form?
let's just even talk about Pagos alone, never mind the increased projects that were never here before. Here's a list of, this is just 60 days. This is a copy of every purchase order that we've had to issue for your viewing pleasure. Here's a copy of every receiving document associated with all these purchase orders. Again, this is only 60 days, not even quite 60 days worth of work. And I've also included a chart of accounts. These are all the accounts that we have. You can see the numbers are pretty small, but there's a lot of them. We continue to get backed up. We have, again, with all the increased projects, accounts, funds, we're falling farther and farther behind. So that's Reader's Digest version.
And Sandy did bring this before the Board of Finance. They basically tabled it because they didn't want to take money from 2013 budget.
Right.
Upon further review, we found that we do have extra money in our accounts. So I don't know what goes first. Do we approve it and then send it back to the Board of Finance, say, look, we found the money and we all agree. Now you have to understand, what if they don't? Who supersedes?
They
who?
usually can't make recommendations on their own in terms of spending money, so it has to come through a board study.
Okay, so you would need they would need a motion and approval from the Board of Selectmen.
Right.
To allocate how much money? $40,000?
$40,000.
$40,000
With
plus
benefits.
Plus benefits. And you
It's
say
already in the budget.
You have covered in the budget. It total would be about $65,000 with the salary and the benefits. The benefits are covered.
How did you get 60?
Because we had put the full-time position in the budget
I
initially.
thought we only put $10,000.
We cut it, but we didn't cut out the portion.
We didn't cut out
the
the insurance.
benefits.
We didn't cut out the insurance portion.
Because the benefits are a separate
Right.
line
We
item.
only cut the
Right.
40,000 or 65 or whatever the.
So
Yeah.
you only had the 40, you
Yeah.
only had the 40 in there.
You only had
Right.
40 in the budget.
In the budget.
That was
But the
cut
benefits
out
are
of
the
the
same.
salary account. We didn't go back and take out all the FICA.
The total.
So you really need 65?
Total, that's basically with benefits. So
Well,
the salary.
I just want to understand what the total
Yeah,
is.
so next year, if you decide this is the position carrying forward for, so next year you'll have, it would be 40,000 plus whatever increase, cost of living increase that would be, plus whatever the benefits are, which, hopefully we can reduce our cost of benefits next year, but who knows? So that's basically the dollar amount for a position.
Discussion, Doug.
Thank you. So, during the budget season, we decided as a board, and then obviously it was approved by the taxpayers, to take out, refresh my memory now, we took out exactly what from the budget? Regarding this?
40,000.
40,000.
We took 40,000, and that was wages, right?
That was wages.
Right.
But
And
we
then you put
forgot,
10,000 in the, I'm sorry, go ahead.
but we forgot to take out benefits.
The benefits.
So how much in benefits is in this year's budget for this position?
$20,000.
20,000.
Approximately 20,000.
21.
Okay, so, and how much is, if we go ahead and do this, how much is it going to cost this year's budget? 65?
40,000. Well, if you
Well, it
include
is
the
a
total.
benefits that are already there, yes.
Okay, so we
Approximately
need to,
65,
we need to come up with
40,000. A little less than 40,000 because we're already,
It's prorated.
we're already into the.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to come up with 40,000. Where's the 40,000 coming from?
You could make a recommendation that it could come from the general fund surplus.
Where's that balance, right?
It's over $3 million, I believe now.
$3 million in
Yeah.
surplus.
A lot of this extra work has come through the purchase order.
That's just from the
You
purchase
know,
Right.
orders
And
now.
that's because it's $100. Well, we have a pretty good sized company, and ours is $1,000 purchase order, and we're a $180 million company. And we got 3 people that
Yep.
do the entire accounting.
Yep.
3. We got one person that does 3,600 paychecks every 2 weeks. One person. But this, to me, this is a lot of money, you know, to try to get something accomplished. That,
Well,
you know, if the PO, if the purchase order is making you do all this extra work, you know, maybe we should revisit that, maybe $100 or whatever we got to ask.
Do you have a sense of, on the purchase orders, like, sort of price points, how many or
There's a
X
lot of
below?
them, there's a lot of them that are blanket purchase orders, so they're actually for more than $100, and
Okay.
people can draw down off of them.
Correct me if I'm wrong, aren't they purchase orders, blanket purchase orders represent somewhere around 60% or thereabouts of what
I
the total
didn't do an
overall is.
analogy.
And every time you have a blanket order and you have a release from the blanket order, you gotta cut another order. So that really is a lot of what
Yeah,
you need.
okay.
My question would be, I know where we are now, we didn't start the way we would want it, okay? We didn't have a good rollout. I won't call it as bad as Obamacare, but this wasn't a, sorry, but I just couldn't let you.
Let that go.
But I'll say this, we didn't have a good rollout. Wouldn't be hard to ask what we could expect over the next year. Again, we're really novices, a lot of the people that are cutting orders right now, and shouldn't that process really improve over the next year?
Again, you know, I tried to give you some visuals instead of talking
And
about
that's only 2
terms.
months worth right there.
But, let me see if I can scoot in
Do you
here.
understand what the question I'm
Yes,
asking?
I do, I do.
You're reading that, isn't it?
I don't know enough about
I'm just
position
gonna,
right now to really make a decision one way or the other, but I do have a concern. And the concern is that we, as a Board of Selectmen, approved a budget that went to the Board of Finance. The Board of Finance approved it and sent it to the people above.
Correct.
And that budget was voted on and approved at a certain dollar amount. I'm a little uncomfortable with, in the middle of the game, telling the people, we're going to change it. Now, I understand that there may be a vehicle to do that. Okay, there may be a vehicle to do that, or there may not be, but I'm sure there is. But before I cast a vote in favor of something like that, I want to make absolutely sure that what we're doing is allowable, and number 2, absolutely necessary.
I think what I was going to say was actually that when we voted on this, it was, back in May? It was before, we had talked about the purchase order system. There's a big difference between talking about implementing a new system and seeing what the effects of the new system actually are. I think what we're seeing here is this is what the effects of the new system actually are. And even though the POs, you know, perhaps because of blanket purchase orders, there may be fewer generated on a monthly basis, the receiving will probably be coming in at that amount pretty much every month from here on out. And the receiving documents are an essential part of the purchase order system. So I guess that's my rationale for looking at this. We knew in theory we were going to do this, and we knew in theory it was going to take, don't worry, I know you're there. We knew in theory it would take more work, but now that we've had 2 months worth of doing the actual implementing the system, seeing what actually it requires, now we're in a more informed place to speak to the additional administrative support it may require. So, which is why this system exists, that we can adjust the budget if need be. It's the reason there is this kind of provision, because in May, you don't know everything for the coming fiscal year.
Renee, you made a very good point, as Doug, you made a very good point. It's like on the right, on the left, conservative. It's good. Simple. So I think you both presented your arguments very well. Sandy did a nice job, and you got a lot of work there.
Well, just to point out a few other things, we're trying to get ready for the audit. I'm not ready. We only just closed June today as far as nobody can enter any more old stuff. This happens to be, well, high school is just getting started. I have to provide things like this for the auditors. So here's the high school with the expenses, the copies of the invoices, everything they need to examine that project. How many projects do we have going in town? 35. This is Fund 176. This one, 159 Chase Road. Chase Road involves invoices, and then plus the state reimburses us 80%. It all has to be tracked. So just the workload is just really increasing. I have done nothing for our new fiscal year, and now we're in September. I don't have July done, don't have August done, because I'm working on last year. And really, it's only May.
It's a hard concept. I was with Doug, Peter Benoit on the Board of Finance when we started this purchase order system and the new OccuFund. We didn't know what the hell OccuFund was. Right now, the only one who has a clear understanding and handle is your treasurer. And that puts her in the hole because you have other people working with it and they're not fully adapt to the situation. They're trying. It takes.
They're trying. It's been 11 months. They come see me every day, usually with the same questions.
It took Kathy Noel Johnson on the Board of Finance. She's an accountant. It took her over a year to figure out all her accounts. And she's an accountant. So it's a difficult situation, and I feel very, very bad for Sandy and her department. But on the other hand, I also feel very bad for Doug, who's representing the conservative view, saying, look, the people paid for this. The people approved it. You just can't, in the middle of a baseball game, say, okay, all you guys are cut, and like Garso wanted to fire everybody. You can't do that either. So you're my witness, you saw it. He's right there. They can't get it done, fire them. Whoa, relax with that. Now you got people here who worked over 35 years. So I think the girls are really trying to understand this. I think they have their best foot forward, but it's going to take time. So
another question I have, what's the learning curve in your mind? I mean, obviously, it depends on the intellect of the person.
Yeah, it really does. I have Lucille, who works for a special services district, who does payroll, accounts payable, accounts receivable, all the general ledger, balances her own checkbook and her own accounts. Lucille picked it up. Lucille's 70 plus years old.
Sandy, could we refrain from using people's names?
Sometimes they say I should, and sometimes I
don't.
don't.
Don't, because personnel issues can't
Well,
be.
all right,
If
so
you're doing
I have
something and
people
all
that
of
are.
a sudden your case is built in the hole.
Yeah.
I have people that have picked it up, and I have people that have had 10 times more training, and they still don't get it.
Now, what if we appropriate the money necessary to do this? I would assume before the next fiscal year that we have a proper review to see what we need, what our needs actually are. Hopefully people will be up and doing a lot better because they've been using the system for
About 2 years at that point, yeah.
And maybe there can be something done in terms of what we have as far as manpower in your department. You see where I'm going, and I don't know whether one person is going to be retiring soon or what.
Yeah, that's unknown. And the other dangerous thing is because the department is so skeletal, there's not a lot of opportunity to cross-train as well. So if, certain people go out, that's gonna be another difficult
So,
situation.
give us a scenario, if we allocate the money for this,
Mhm.
what's going to happen within your department and AccuFund and all the different pieces of paper that we have to process on a daily basis?
First of all, I need somebody that has and understands accounting, that has a degree. Someone who is adaptable to change. If they have some little IT background, that would be wonderful as well. But we have, again, all these projects, and we have projects that aren't even started yet, but are all in the pipeline, like the YMCA, the bridge for over there. The high school's just getting started. There's 10 lift stations plus an 11th one that's going to be built. There's, just all these funds, and the workload is not going to decrease, it's going to increase.
So the person you want to hire, what would her task be to start with?
To start with, the first thing I would want them to do is cross-train her,
Right.
is cross-train on how to do payroll. Because if something happens, you need, I've been in other companies before where somebody had a situation and they were not able to perform at all anymore. So that's really important. I mean, I could jump in and figure it out and do it, but then nothing else is going to get done. So, the other thing is they would maintain, I'd give them all the economic development accounts. That's about 15 bank accounts, and they have a bazillion funds, I don't know, like about probably 15 to 20-ish. And then plus she's got some that are branched off of the general fund. So I would give those accounts to that person. I'd also put them on our daily cash receipts account, make sure that everything's cool with that every day. We have some investment accounts, maybe I'd give you the scholarships.
I want to see, and I would assume that you would be reporting to us on a monthly basis the progress that you're making,
Absolutely.
so that we have an understanding where we're getting a bang for a buck,
Mhm.
per se.
Mhm.
You don't mind that? That sounds, yeah.
Scotty, I haven't heard from you.
Right. Before I became a selectman, I attended a lot of the board finance meetings, and I remember the pitch, if you will, that was made for the AccuFund software. I think
Yep.
it was $70,000.
No.
How much was it? 50,000?
No, we didn't have to pay, like, 72,000 was the bid that we got from Tyler, which is what the Board of Ed uses. We did not go that route.
Okay.
We had, and I know some people were saying like, oh, 95,000 and this and that. I'll just speak to this year, our current bill for the whole year for support and upgrades was, I want to say 15,900, somewhere in that ballpark.
Right, but you have an initial purchase price for the software. and
No,
the
because
year is a-
we
is
didn't
a
have to buy the
maintenance.
software.
Okay.
We did have an implementation cost.
Whatever that number was, I remember at the meeting, it was pitched that, the town hall had operated on a DOS system.
Yes.
And how on earth could we, be in 2010 with a DOS system? And I kind of agreed to that. And, in my back of my mind, I'm like, and how much better this was going to be, and how much easier, and how much more productive.
It is,
it
and
was
it
gonna
is.
be. But then I see that we don't seem to be getting that productivity out of it.
Well, the system is capable of doing more than we use it for. An example is the accounts payable module. We have the ability to scan in a bill, an invoice that we pay, and attach it to whether it's the bridge fund or whatever.
Yeah.
But sometimes people are resistant to change. And so we don't have that. We have beautiful reporting capabilities. The auditors did not like us using the DOS system. For 20 years, no months were closed, no periods were closed, no years were closed. There was also a big security issue. When I was interviewed and for this job, part of my responsibility was going to be to find new software. And the reason why, somebody suggested we do QuickBooks, not for a town like this and all the projects we have going, and that's just not practical. I researched, presented different programs, we got a really good bang for our buck. But we need people that can use it and use it effectively. You know, we have people that are using it. Some are
Sounds like there might be a training issue involved.
11 months, you know,
But
I understand that.
everybody trains differently, and some
If
people
I
aren't.
didn't have
So-
decades of training under my belt, including writing manuals and understanding people's different learning styles, I've tried everything. I would really doubt my capabilities. But you know, I might as well sometimes talk to the wall. And it's not hard. It's not hard. So,
If we're going to seriously consider this, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't, I think we need to give it due diligence. And because we're talking about, realistically, altering the budget, our next meeting is only in 2 weeks. They're not every month now, correct?
Right.
Can we just table this for the 2-week period, come back in 2 weeks with a little bit more knowledge? I'd like to talk to Sandy more about it, and then revisit it in the 2 weeks?
Any selectman can table any issue at any time.
Okay.
and I do invite anybody to shadow me for a day, a week, and see for yourself.
That's a motion to table, a second.
Okay, thank you.
Motion made by Doug, table, second by Scott, all in favor of table until the next meeting, which will be the 15th. Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, and a couple things while it's tabled. You know, I see two very important questions. They were raised eloquently by our fine chef, lawyer, and by our concrete man. Doug raised a great point. We need $40,000. You're going to alter the budget, and that's not what the taxpayers voted on, correct? Our town administrator says we have the money. So usually if there's a need, the biggest problem is the money. We have the money. The second thing is Renee, the need to help in the Treasury Department. So those are two issues you have to, and Owen brought in some stuff about his huge plan, and people will criticize this board, and they'll say, well, downstairs, there's only one person, and she does a $21 million budget, but blah, 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 blah. But everything is different, and don't have the accounts that we have up here. So think about that before our next meeting, and do your investigating, do your questions, and figure out what's the best for Putnam. That's it. Okay. So that's tabled.
In the meantime, maybe we can get some...
Edgar, excuse me, have a nice day.
I thought you were gonna say-
See, I told you, you didn't have to leave at 8 o'clock.
Come to leave it.
Maybe you could get the finance board on board with this.
Well, then we're not going to have that meeting
Oh, no.
until after we meet.
Oh, sorry.
Doug said we have to send them a message, so we should meet before the menu. Okay, so we have some more homework to do, all of us. Approval of bills, G. Owen.
Make a motion to pay all approved bills. Scotty just
Second.
jumped in that time.
Second.
Motion made, second to approve all bills. Any discussion? Any outstanding thing you want to talk about with the bills?
No, the only thing was, you already reiterated on the electrical bills that you're working on.
Okay? All those in favor of approving the bills, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Other business to come before this board. I have some. First of all, from Maureen Nicholson in Pomfret, she's bringing CCM to our area on how to destroy files, what you can and what you cannot do. Is yes, it'll be December 10th at the Pomfret Community Senior Center. And who should attend? First selectmen, mayors, all selectmen, city clerks, town clerks, attorneys, financial directors, human resource, we don't have police chiefs, fire chiefs, and it goes on the whole list of what you keep, what you don't keep, what you can get rid of, what you can't. I know we have a problem in our office, I think it's like the old Putnam landfill over here. Anybody comes in, there's more boxes than you can think of. So anyhow, that's one piece that I can't wait to go to. Second, I got 7 complaints about yard sales. Certain people have them yard sales every weekend, every month, every year. It just happened a family on Woodstock Avenue had a yard sale during the Woodstock Fair, People Truck Road, all kind of congestion. So I asked Doug, and Doug gave me our ordinance on yard sales, which was voted and passed in 1983. No person shall hold a tag sale without having a permit. And the permits go through Denise or Carolyn, who's ever here, and it doesn't cost anybody anything. But it's a record, which they don't have. And then the second thing is tag sale, yard sale, moving sale, tag sale, garage sale, all the same thing. There'll be no charge for your permit. Number 4, within any calendar year, no more than 2 tag sales shall be issued to any person or family. That's it, 2 a year. And lastly, it says any person conducting a tag sale without a license shall be chargeable for the offense and a fine levied not to exceed $100. So I sent our zoning enforcement officer to that house and just say, here's the deal, here's the warning, you can't do it again. Backed up by Deputy Chief of Police Knippy to enforce it. So it's on, as they say, it's on the record. What other thing I have here? The other day, and I know I can't do anything about it, but everybody likes to take pop shots at boards. I was listening to the talk show. Inappropriate, shallow, no merit comments showing no respect to the chairman of the Board of Finance, the entire Board of Finance, except one person. The mayor got thrown under the bus, and some of the selectmen got thrown under the bus with some bizarre remarks. Unfounded, but just to keep aware of that, so when you're pouring cement, listen to that talk show. Because we do take, you gotta have thick skin, and it doesn't bother, it just, maybe it was the way it was said, I was really angry, but that's the way it goes. When you make the big dollars, that's what happens, I guess.
I got a question.
I have an answer for you.
Blight ordinance. Who's responsible right now?
The polite enforcement officer.
Which is?
There's 3.
There's 3.
There's the fire chief.
Fire chief, police chief, and?
Police chief and the building
Is
official.
it the fire marshal?
Fire marshal,
Fire
yeah,
marshal,
that's
right.
chief marshal,
Marshal.
since
And the building official.
townwide.
Because I got confronted, a couple of people who mentioned it to me, like at Zoe's pizza place, right on the side of it is garbage piled up to as far as you can go.
That's a health issue, not
Is
like.
that, yeah,
That's a
I'm not
zoning
sure
issue
that
though,
that's
too, in
right.
terms of how they,
Yeah.
So are we currently enforcing blight in East Putnam?
In very
Because there
rare.
was a discussion that there was no police chief, it was state police.
No.
But the fire marshal can issue a citation.
It can
Okay.
be enforced by the zoning enforcement.
So
Yeah.
on
It doesn't
record,
have to be a police.
on
Yeah.
record, the night that you guys made the blight ordinance a couple of years ago, I emailed you my first blight complaint,
Oh.
and that still hasn't been addressed in East Putnam. So whoever,
The fellow with the flowers hanging on the driveway, the gutters?
yeah, that guy.
All right.
So,
we know who.
so whoever is
We don't buy that
enforcing,
100 times.
so who enforces the blight in East Putnam?
The zoning enforcement.
That would be Mr. Lee Post.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. So I should address my concern to him?
And
Yes.
he can bring Norm
Actually,
with him.
It could be Norm as well.
Okay.
Shouldn't it go to Denise, and Denise make sure it gets to the proper place? That's
Yeah.
Do I start with Denise?
Yes.
Yes.
there's a form online that you can fill out.
Good.
Other news to come for, I got a letter from Norm Bernier, fire marshal, asking the town to, the parent to condemn a building, unfortunately, where a child was killed
Ooh.
on, was that Prospect Street?
Was it fire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only thing,
One last year.
I didn't answer him because we're not sure if the state has concluded their investigation.
Yeah.
Once they conclude, the place is in rack and ruin. It's a health and safety issue. So I have no problem. Soon Doug finds with the state, are you done with your investigations? It's over a year now.
Yeah.
So that's that. Just to keep you, as they say, in Putnam abreast, I will be going to the CCM meeting in Hartford. I'm on the education committee. And then I'm going to go to a mediation and arbitration meeting for all chief elected officers in Prospect, Connecticut, which is 81 miles west. So it's a very busy week after next week, because next week will be a very relaxing week. I want to thank Doug Cutler for sending me to Aruba. I'm very happy sitting with a cigar and a cocktail, blowing smoke, thinking of you guys. Sorry, Pete.
My wife just texted me.
Yes.
Your Nava just hit a 3-run homer.
Who?
Nava.
They're 26 games out.
I think they're ahead 5-0.
Yeah. Any other business to come before this board before we go to last citizens comment?
I have just comment.
Go ahead.
If anybody has. I was at the Woodstock Fair 2 days out of the 4 days, and all I heard in any particular circumstance I was in, and I served in a number of different capacities for nonprofits and serving their booths, all I heard was tremendous kudos about the town club and what the job that you're doing, the mayor's doing, Board of Selectmen, Economic Development, the Business Association. Just everybody was so upbeat about the things that are going on in Putnam. So I just wanted to share that with you. Yeah.
My dearest cousin lives in Stratford, Connecticut, and he comes up and brings friends with him to any of the events that we have. And
Stratford?
Stratford. It's a
That's
2-hour
like
ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have, like, first Friday, he'll be up, and the real dime, you know, they love it. So, citizens' comment, yes. I forgot. Owen still has one more thing. Go, Owen.
Last selectmen's meeting, we were talking about the $4,000 for the water up to Car Park. And Doug, Jim Shaw told us what to do. We followed that. It went to the water department and they turned us down. So they're not gonna let us put water up there.
And to go on, Owen, we have no recourse. I thought, okay, turn us down. We'll have a public hearing as selectmen, we'll have a town meeting, and override them. Can't do it. Like I told you, there's Sacred Cow, Delphi, and the water department.
So you have 4,000 in the budget?
Yes.
So you haven't used anything yet?
No,
So when you oversee this fall, turn the water on?
we're gonna do that anyway.
Okay.
But, you know, it's gonna cost more than $4,000.
When they overseed, you want to germinate the seed, you need moisture.
We haven't spent any of the money
It's a crazy situation.
Yeah.
yet. Yeah, I personally, I think it's
Bogarts.
stupid that we can't take care of the kids in this.
Let me ask Doug a question.
They gotta do what they gotta do, and I understand that too.
Doug's works with the water department. We get we get somewhat from Crystal Water, right?
Right.
Gas water?
Yeah.
Do we get a municipal rate?
We do give them this.
Why can't they give us a municipal? Why can't they give
Because
recreation?
they went through the whole process to, go through their public utilities control and got that rate. It's not a municipal rate, it's another rate that they give to certain
But
customers.
it's lower.
It's lower.
I mean, this is one of our own entities in our town for our kids, and we can't get a special rate. And it doesn't affect one taxpayer one bit, because everybody's metered, they pay their own tab, right?
Yeah, but it's not produced for what? So everybody's paying for that.
And it was nice of East Putnam Fire Department to
Where's the
extend
water
that,
down, Doug?
but if you do it for one, you get 1,000 phone calls. Hey,
Yeah.
my lawn is kind of dry.
He also got scolded by the water department. So.
Yeah, and the fire marshal.
All right. Any other business to come before this board?
I'll just add one comment with regard to training. I can get a list from our AccuFund people because they also conducted several hours of training and, what, we can get a list of who, what hours, what modules, that supplements. Because it's not just me.
Can you ask them, when you contact them, to come here and do training for everybody?
Again?
Huh? Yeah, have them do training again.
Yeah.
Right. That comes with it. You shouldn't.
We did that.
Not tomorrow,
No, we did the training,
So-
now
But
we can be
sometimes you
more.
need more than one.
Yeah.
Oh, believe me, we've done more than one.
No, but this way it would be an outside person coming in. They don't know the people involved. They don't know the frustrations that have come up. There's no personality issues. I mean, there's some.
I will throw this out there for
Yeah.
free.
Yeah.
I would be willing to give you a presentation and a demonstration
Right.
on the modules
Right.
and how to use it.
I understand that, but I would like to see OccuFund people come right here in this room with all our people who use that here.
Right.
If we have to pay them overtime, our
Right.
excellent town administrator will find money somewhere. He just found 40,000 for you, I can find some
Yeah.
some
I know,
samples.
This way, we,
You agree with that, Renee?
I can't speak for anyone else, but this way, I certainly would feel more comfortable that we have tried all we can to get everybody on board with this thing, that it's not because, that any issues that are coming up, they're not because of personality or resentment of the process or anything else, that we've given everyone as much training as is reasonable. And because it seems to me, at this point, trying to point fingers and assign blame isn't going to help at all. We need help. We need help, and we need to create the groundwork to see what kind of help is going to be best.
I couldn't have said it better, Schwartz.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. LaRose.
Hey,
Name and address for
Mr.
the
Cole.
record.
yeah.
Name and address for the record, please.
Yeah. 476 Woodstock Avenue,
Name.
Howard Bolt.
Howard.
Howard, you're not the one doing that thing, Daddy.
Okay. I had 3 things, but you got 2 big problems here.
Okay.
One he's talking about is water. From what I understand, you pump water out of Little River for one part. Why don't you
Too
pump-
far. You said, come on, you can't get there.
Just give me a minute.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You do Little River down there, why don't you do the Quinnebog River for his part? All you gotta do is run a pipe through the street
It's
drain.
an effluent river. We're not allowed to draw from it for any purpose.
That's a lot of towns use purple water, okay?
Gray water.
Well, whatever,
There's
use
a-
the purple
yeah.
pipe to get it out of the...
Okay,
All right, now you get this problem here that
that's number 2.
you're battling about. Why don't you just get a part-timer to do the cumbersome work until you come for next budget and decide how you're gonna fix this mess that you created, which some people believe shouldn't have been created, you know? And then next spring, when you're doing your budget, you'll know what you gotta do for her. But the cumbersome work is what she's showing you.
To answer the question, Sandy and I have been exploring that through local colleges, some senior men and women who work part-time just to do this cumbersome work, because she has $10,000 in her budget for help, but that's like spitting in the ocean. But it would be a help.
You're gonna discuss it, so
Yes.
let's go.
It was the third one.
Third one was all around the street, on each telephone pole is a notice from a secondhand shop on Providence Street. Did you notice it when you went by Zoe's and you go everywhere?
To be honest with you, I did not see it, but
They're
I
on
believe
every single telephone pole all the way up and down the streets.
that's against the
And
zoning.
that was all-
Yeah, complain to Lee
Oh, I
Post,
don't
our
need a
zoning
complaint.
enforcement officer.
I don't care, they can do it if they want to do it. Okay, fourth thing.
Why don't you bring it
You
up?
said 3, now you're up to 4.
No, I had 3,
Oh, all right.
but then
It's a
you
bonus.
brought up 2.
Okay.
It's a bonus.
Okay, you were against tattoo parlor, but I see it here, what?
I was against what?
Tattoo parlor. And
Was I against it?
Tattoo.
I was against, it's a personal thing. I don't like
I thought
tattoos.
you all said it wasn't gonna go down and all of a sudden it's...
No, he never said that. He was seeking a statement from the board that as an abutting landowner, we didn't want a...
You voted against it?
Right.
No, that wasn't the town voting against it.
Well,
It was, we're property owners downtown.
I know
As a
all that.
property owner, you have a right to speak up when someone wants an exception from the zoning rules.
Well, I thought the zoning board had planned on turning it down or... Anyway, it's here.
Yeah, right.
Okay. The last thing, I'm gonna get myself in trouble. Could you just listen for
I am
me?
definitely,
She talked about a project by the Cargo Falls. Is that the Putnam Woolen Mill?
Right across from Wayne.
right across the window, yeah, the big,
Yes, it is.
That's the big mill.
yeah, it was, I didn't know it was the Putnam Willow.
Well, that's what we used to be called.
Okay,
Have you spent any money on that project?
Me?
Well,
The
go
town?
on in the town.
No, not a penny.
The reason I'm gonna get in trouble was, I was offered $1,000 bet this week, that it would not happen. In other words, people who know things, it's not gonna happen. So don't stick any money in, that's what I'm saying.
We're not, we can't, you're right. Mr. Bolt, thank you very much, we will not put one penny in there. Mr. Perry?
Yes, John Perry, 11 Bowl Street. I know you guys took the bids early in the year. Are they gonna do storm drains this year?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
doing it.
Every year, we're doing
No,
that.
I was just wondering because usually they stop.
They'll wait till usually some of the leaves fall down
I'm
first.
just wondering if that's what they're waiting this
Yeah.
year. This
We
year.
always wait
Yeah.
October, probably October,
Um,
September, October, November, I don't know.
My second question, you said on the yard sale permits, only
2 a year.
2 a year? And that's only good, what, for just the 2?
To a calendar year?
Two weekends.
Weekends.
calendar days within the
Like if you have it for a Saturday, you could have it next Saturday as well, that's it.
Okay.
A lot of people do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or
I
Saturday,
think that
Sunday.
counts
Can't
as
do that?
one.
Yeah, I think that's
I'm
one.
not sure.
Yeah, I think that's one permit.
That would
One
make
big
sense.
Might be.
One big long one.
May 15th of June. You have a motion?
To adjourn? So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Against?
6-1 now.
Oh.
Yankees against